catch a plane from one of these teeny tiny regional airports recently. I don't know if any of you guys have done this. It's I didn't know I was at the airport. It just looked like someone's fucking bungalow with a really long driveway. And there's all these tiny planes. And I was like, oh, fuck. I get out there, and there's not many people on the flight. There's only 8 of you. But I stepped on the first step, and the whole plane went... I thought, fuck me, how am I going to get off the ground? There's still 8 people behind me. Right? Now I'm really nervous. Now my heart's going. Climb on the thing, you sit there, you put your bag on your lap, and they, everyone gets on board really quickly, and then they close the door, and they go, and they close you in, and you're like, oh, I'm fucked now. Now the pilot knows he's flying it's this plane. He knows he's flying something that looks like a toilet roll with wings. But he still fancies himself as Top Gun. He's got the teardrop Ray-Bans, he's got the white shirt with the epaulets. And he does that pilot speak. They learn it in pilot school, right? They do this whole, little snoring tower, this is Cessna teeny tiny death trap 69. Foxtrot uniform, Charlie Kilo, request permission for departure, runway 1. And when they start, when you're on a jet, right, even EasyJet, you get that, fucking, that's with the small plane, they kind of have to coax it alive. It's like flipping all the switches and they're, and then and it just drums through your fucking brain. I'm like, oh, Jesus God. And I started having flashbacks to my childhood. We used to watch the BBC, World at War, black and white documentaries, World War II, it'd be like, and they'd have the Lancaster bombers, and they would make that sound, and then you got the British narrator, very posh, he'd be like, 1943. And the Allies are pushing back the might of the German army. Meantime, back at home, the young ladies have rolled up their sleeves and are doing their bit for the war effort. The French have folded like a soggy napkin. But the boys in the RAF say, no thank you, Mr. Hitler. Flying up to 5 sorties a day, the boys have barely got enough time for a cup of tea and a hearty cigarette. Fucking brilliant, right? I just used to love it. But so it kind of got me on. So now we're on this plane, and picking up speed ahead. The fence is coming. I'm praying, and I just see there's this guy walking his dog, and there's another one mowing the lawn on the airport. I was like, oh, that's not the things you think about before you're about to die, right? Got me thinking back to my life growing up in South Africa when we did our chores, right? We didn't have servants as much as Maggie Thatcher said we did. In fact, I asked my mum, could we get servants like the BBC says we have? My mum said, shut the fuck up, mow the lawn and clean up the dog shit. And I said, now, I remember as a ginger kid in Africa, I was always looking at ways of trying to curtail my chore time. And I saw there was white dog shit out there on the lawn. Now, for those of you born after 1990, you wouldn't know about this. Dog food used to have ash in it as like a filler. To create more volume. They even had a pop song about it in the 90s called Plump Up the Volume. And so the dogs would chart and then they would shit and it would go dry in the African sun. It would be like crumbly. And so then you'd take the mower and you could do 2 chores at once because you just drive straight over we called them chalkies. And you'd be like... beat the crap out of doing it twice. But the opposite of the chalky was the freshie, right? This was one that was still steaming. When you hit that with a mower, it was like, oh! My first encounter with a biological weapon was like instant nausea. You got the dry heaves. Like we call it mock charging in Africa. Anyway, So back to the whole thing. So now I live in Mother England, right, where people are like so civilized. I see people walking their dogs, right, and they're picking up the dog shit, and they put it in a little bag, they do the windy thing, and put it on and I thought, imagine the narrator doing this one. Our British citizen, our intrepid dog walker, Picks up the dog excrement with no worries, right? Proudly British, you bet we are. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Kev Perkins. Cheers.